All right, buddy, welcome back to Ox Talks. It is Friday, March the 8th, 2024. You're having a good day today, a productive day today, and hopefully you have some meaningful plans scheduled for the weekend. I wanted to start out by saying I watched a video earlier that I want to recommend all of you go and take a look at. And this is by Patera over at Appalachia's Homestead. I'm sure many of you might be subscribed to her channel, but I caught this one today, and she talks about the State of the Union last night that was given, the speech, and the implications, and delving into, really, if you look at what was said, how it was said, what it means, and what it means for us as a country, and what it means for you and I individually, and what we need to be doing now. I thought it was a very heartfelt message, and I'm just going to recommend, I don't do this very often on this channel, I recommend that you guys go and check that out because it is eye-opening, not to mention it, from my perspective, it is a very accurate assessment of what is happening. Thanks for watching the video, subscribing to my channel. Appreciate all of you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button and the bell notification. And let's continue to spread these videos to anybody and everybody that will listen, from your family, your friends, coworkers, colleagues, anybody that has open eyes and open ears and wants to understand what is truly going on around them. Let's start with a couple things today. And I want to say I'm probably going to not be able to post this weekend because I have family in town. It was my dad's birthday yesterday. We have to catch up with him this evening with the family, and then have my mom's birthday on Sunday. So it's going to be a bunch of stuff going on. I probably will not be able to upload a video until Monday. A couple things. I'd be remiss if I didn't address the fact that gold closed at an all-time high. It's an all-time weekly close for gold today, almost $2,180, and it is it's had a substantial run over the past couple of weeks for sure. Will this continue? I don't know. Does it feel, for me, it feels a little bit overbought, but I'm going to share an article with you now that I saw from Kitco earlier that if you subscribe to it and you believe this theory, then there's no reason why this price surge would necessarily have to stop. We're in uncharted, literally uncharted territory, and right now, and look at the spot price of gold now really isn't even the inflation adjusted price. If you were to adjust it for the rise of inflation over the years, you'd have gold probably sitting much mid 3,000s, low 4,000s an ounce. So again, not financial advice, but it may make some sense to diversify. Think about some of this stuff. Boy, we all hate to buy things when they're at their top, right? And I get it. And everyone's got to do their own research, their own due diligence, and find out, what you think is going to happen. But it's an amazing run this week and the last week for the metals. I'll give some props to Bitcoin. I did see that I believe it pushed through the all-time high of, I think it was 68,900. I believe it pushed through there. It made it through this afternoon from what I saw by a few $100s. I think it's pulled back a bit now. But look, same thing. We have assets at all-time highs. We have the stock market at all-time highs. We have cryptos, precious metals, at least gold, at all-time highs. And we have the housing prices at all-time highs. So look, something has to give. You guys place your bets. What is going to give first and in what order? Love to hear your comments below. But it all cannot continue to rise at this pace. The Kitco article I thought was interesting says, from today, says central banks are driving the gold rally as they find new reasons to de-dollarize. A Bloomberg strategist, Simon White, says while the weaponization of the dollar is a major issue, U.S. fiscal deficits and the greenback's weakness down the road are also driving the world's central banks to accumulate gold according to Bloomberg macro strategist Simon White. It says, quote, Powell might not be overly worried about inflation, with his recent comments reiterating the Federal Reserve is on track to cut rates this year. But other central banks are not so relaxed, Wright wrote. Gold's new high signals global central banks are likely accumulating the precious metal in an effort to diversify away from the dollar, as persistently large fiscal deficits threaten to further erode its real value and lead to more inflation. Well, look at, we're the largest debtor nation in history. So, of course, we continue to print money. We can continue to incur debt that we don't have the ability to repay unless we're printing more money to pay the over $1 trillion per year of interest that it costs just to service that debt. So are other countries around the world losing faith in the dollar? Absolutely. Is there also the weaponization of the dollar over the past decade or so? Absolutely. So look at what is going on here, because I just saw an article a little while ago that now Mexico is looking to join the BRICS nations as well. So everything is being aligned to move away from the dollar. And when this starts to happen, it's going to, let's say, the pace is going to pick up extremely quickly, in my opinion. And what assets are you going to want to be in when that happens? You'll have to, again, use your own determination, do your own homework on that. It says, Wright said that gold's sharp rally over the last few days has been it's interesting, has been broad as well as pronounced, as well as hinted by low gold volume, with the yellow metals setting 50-year highs. He noted that after jewelry, the largest gold holdings are in private investments, including ETFs, bars, and coins, followed by central bank reserves. In recent years, he says, the swing buyers have been ETFs, which hold about 2,500 tons of gold. But ETF holdings, he says, has been falling even as the dollar price has been rising. He says further, silver, this is interesting, silver is, and I agree, has not participated in the rise. It's therefore a reasonable supposition and assumption that official sector, i.e. central banks, has been a significant driver of gold's recent ascent to new highs. Let's talk about silver. I'm a huge proponent of silver. I hold silver in the physical form. I did see silver, I think it closed today up in the mid $24 range, but that is extremely low. Don't forget, silver hit almost $50 before years ago. So silver has a long way to go. It would have to more than double right now to be keeping pace with gold. And many have valuations at multiples of where it's at right now, which I don't necessarily disagree with. So if I want to look into silver as well, I am as big of a fan of silver as I am of gold. It says central banks want gold as a hard asset, not part of the financialized system when owned outright, meaning in the physical form. Bunch of buddies of mine believe they have gold exposure because they hold Barrick gold or ETF gold. And when you say gold exposure, I think that's accurate price exposure, but you do not have the safety of the physical nature of the metal. It says the dominant reason is a desire of these countries to diversify away from the dollar. If you're not already on friendly terms with the United States, it's a way to avoid your reserve assets being seized, as he says happened to Russia. So he's talking about how we could see a significant underperformance or downturn in the dollar in the years ahead. By the way, the dollar was down over the last week or so. It's weakened a bit. We'll see if that continues to happen. So I thought that was an interesting article from Kitco covering gold today. I wanted to give gold its due because it is at all-time high, closed. Next article I want to discuss is the jobs report that came out today and the underpinning of the jobs report, which feeds into and touches on this illegal immigration crisis and migration crisis that we have in this country that is weighing. We've talked about almost on every show now because it is at the forefront. I'm going to keep talking about it. And so I want to share this article with you because Zero Hedge tied the jobs numbers today and where the jobs are going into the illegal immigration issue. But let me discuss the jobs numbers. It was a key piece of news that came out today, so I believe I want to give it a couple minutes of its due. It says the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, reported that in February, the United States unexpectedly added 275,000 jobs, with just one research analyst from Dai-ichi Research expecting a higher number. So most analysts expected less job creation. It came in at 275,000 jobs. The BLS, well, and we talk about revisions, and they always come out with a pump-up number, and then when no one's watching, a month later, they quietly revise down the numbers when they're no longer in the headlines. So BLS slashed, it says, last month's print by over a third. And what they did was they revised what was originally reported as a massive $353,000 jobs beat to just 229,000, 124,000 downward revision, which was the biggest 1 month negative revision in the last 2 years, it says. So wouldn't be surprised if we see a revision of February's numbers when March's report comes out. But I'll continue here. In February, the unemployment rate unexpectedly jumped to 3.9%, and this is the highest since February of 2022. So there are more people becoming unemployed. We discuss the layoffs and the firings often on this show. I'll continue to report on that as well. But employers are shrinking workforces under the guise of reorganizations and under the guise of AI and robotics, having an impact. But look, unemployment rate rose. The average hourly earnings tumbled to just 0.1%, and that's the lowest in 2 years. So jobs are the jobs are being created at a slower rate. The unemployment rate is higher. Excuse me, off my train of thought. And now we have the average hourly wages shrinking. Those are all terrible, terrible data points. Lowest in 2 years. And then lastly, we talk about the composition of new jobs, and here's where I want to tie it back in. In February 2023, the U.S. had 133.2 million full-time jobs, so a year ago, or more than it does 1 year later. And it says all the job growth since then has been in part-time jobs, which have increased by 921,000 since February of 2023. So part-time jobs are increasing, full-time jobs are decreasing. February, the number of native, and this is the point I wanted to kind of drive home before I finish up here. And we talk about who are the jobs going to. Listen here. Well, we find that in February, the number of native-born workers tumbled again. Native-born workers meaning U.S. citizens, sliding by a massive 560,000 to just 129,807 million. Add to this the December data, it says, and we get a near record 2.4 million plunge in native-born workers, which is the lowest amount in the past 3 months. The offset, a record 1.2 million foreign-born, and they interpret this as illegal immigrants, workers added in February. Now, to be fair, some of that's going to be legal immigrants getting jobs, but we have to understand that the vast majority of that is the illegal immigrants that are flooding into this country that are also taking U.S. citizens, U.S. taxpayers' jobs. Not only has all job creation in the last 6 years been exclusively to foreign-born workers, it says, but there's been zero job creation for native-born workers since June of 2018. I'll leave it there in terms of the news I saw today that I thought was important. I hope all of you have a productive weekend today. Don't forget to get your workouts in. I'll be leaving here in about an hour to get my workout in. Get your steps in, walk, move, some cardio, do some strength training. Watch the diet this weekend. It's a time that it's easy to get lazy around the house. have a bag of chips laying there on the counter. I fall prey to that sometimes myself. Been trying very hard lately not to do that, making some progress with my diet as well. So I hope all of you will take it seriously. Use the weekend. Go check out Patera's video that talks about the State of the Union speech from last night, because it doesn't just talk about that. She backfills it with a whole lot of other thoughts, analysis, thought-provoking things. So check that out, please, over the weekend. It's an 18 or 19-minute video. I think it'd be worth your time. And again, use this time to, and her message is, and I leave you with this message all the time, we need to be preparing financially, with our security, with our food and our water and our other preparations, because tough times are here, and there is an agenda which is definitely not, let's say, laid out for you and for me. Well, there's an agenda, but it's not to favor you and to favor me. So I hope you have a good weekend. Appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you if I have time over the weekend to touch base. I will. If not, I'll see you for sure on Monday. Bye.